there is a guy named Kyrie that is swimming and lurking through the Dallas non-waters. It is dry, as he is. It is shallow, like he is. And it is flat, like his brain is. I will say one thing about this Dallas Mavericks team. There is nothing that will sell me that they made the right decision at the trade deadline to make a move for this guy. You gave up not huge pieces, but you gave up pieces. And you gave up picks for this man who already came out and said that he's going to test the waters of free agency, which, by the way, nobody in their right mind is going to bring this guy in with a supermax contract. This guy has been nothing but a cancer to Dallas, to the Brooklyn Nets, to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Everywhere he's gone. Where is he going to go? I wouldn't be surprised if he's a Laker next year. That's the only team. And I don't know how they're going to fit that in. Maybe if LeBron James takes less or renegotiates his deal. I don't know how this is going to work. But I will say this. That would be probably the only team that would be interested in this idiot. He has been a disgrace. He is 6-15 as a Dallas Maverick. Since he's been traded, the Dallas Mavericks went from a 5th seed to an 11th seed. That tells you everything you need to know about Kyrie Irving, his team ship, just like the ship sinking, because the team has done nothing but sink since he has become a part of this organization.
Well, for his ship, it would just fall off his flat Earth because, according to him, we don't have a
That's
round
another
Earth.
thing. How does the boats float if the Earth is flat?
No, they'll just fall off the edge.
Doesn't make sense. He doesn't make sense.
Kyrie Irving's locker room culture doesn't make sense because you're right. He's already derailing another team. And a guy in Luka Doncic that, again, I feel bad for because he's now had to survive the antics of Kristaps Porzingis, and now he has to survive the antics of Kyrie Irving. I mean, what more does he have to deal with? And he also was mentioning, too, that he misses playing with Jalen Brunson.
Did you read the New York Post article about what Luka Doncic said about Jalen Brunson and how he is fairly missed all season long? The leadership in the locker room and just his approach to the game. Luka Doncic, who, by the way, has Kyrie Irving on his team, who, by the way, talent-wise is probably the best, most talented point guard in the NBA, is saying that losing Jalen Brunson to the New York Knicks is a complete catastrophe to the organization ever since they decided not to re-sign him and extend him a year before he became a free agent.
And like you said, they had to trade some other depth pieces in order to do that. A team that really didn't have a lot of depth as it was last year when they made it to the Western Conference Finals. Jalen Brunson sparking the way he did in that Suns series was a big reason why they were able to upset the Suns, a powerhouse #1 seed in the regular season. And they have not been able to make up that depth with these other guys. Tim Hardaway Jr., former Knick, has played okay, but he's not going to be what Jalen Brunson is. And they had to trade a lot of the other guys. Their next best player is probably Christian Wood, who's a good young power forward, but nothing special. And Luka Doncic has been hurt too. Kyrie Irving's been hurt at certain points. You can't trust these guys to do everything. And we say it all the time. Kyrie Irving's a me player. He only really cares about himself. You want guys that can make other players better. And you have to feel bad for somebody like Luka Doncic because of that, because he's done well at making these other players better in his career.
We've seen what happened to Kristaps Porzingis, and he was actually friends with Kristaps Porzingis.
Right.
When Kristaps opened his mouth, he is now playing for the Lonely Wizards. And you hear Kyrie Irving, he opens his mouth, and he will be playing for a lonely team, or maybe himself, because he's been playing with himself since the day he came into the league.
Maybe he could start the Flat Earth Basketball League.
He has been an absolute joke all season long with his anti-Semitic thoughts and then his thoughts about the organization as a whole when he wanted to come to this team and bring a championship home to the New York fans because he didn't want to be a Knick, and he drawn everything away from the spotlight of the New York Knicks when him and Kevin Durant decided to jump to one New York team, not the Knicks. So if you're a Knicks fan, you should be very happy that those two idiots decided not to go to the Knicks, because right now the Knicks would be in the same place as the Brooklyn Nets are. But it's not a bad place. They're a 6th seed going into the playoffs, and maybe they make a further run than a Kevin Durant who's playing for the Suns, or a further run than the Dallas Mavericks and the Kyrie Irvings, because I don't even know if Dallas is even going to make the playoffs.
They have to win, and OKC has to lose for them to get in. Both teams have one game left, and the Thunder own the tiebreaker.
My bet is in the Thunder. I don't think Kyrie Irving in his big mouth. He lost me a lot of money a couple of weeks ago on a 3-point shot with 1 second left of the game, a parlay, and now he loses me more. So thank you to the great Kyrie Irving for just being a complete catastrophe since he's come and gone to the Dallas Mavericks.